Jagex has officially revealed Leagues to Equilibrium and what is to come. And today, let's discuss it. What's going on, guys? My name is Dakota, and welcome back to a new video where today we are discussing Leagues to Equilibrium and the information that Jagex just dropped relating to it. So just as a little primer, what is Leagues? For those who do not know, Leagues is a seasonal game mode with relics and tasks that essentially break the game as we know it. The relics specifically break the game as we know it and allow us to do a lot of fun things that you can't do in the base game. These, of course, started over in Old School with, I believe the first one was called Trailblazer, and they recently wrapped up with Demonic Packs. Now, Leagues 2 Equilibrium comes out on August 10th, so we have a couple of weeks until then to prepare and for Jagex to drop pretty much everything and anything they can about Leagues 2. And it's funny that they dropped this at this time because quite literally 2 nights ago, I was standing there in the shower having a thought about making a speculation video about what the theme of this Leagues could be, and I thought it was pretty obvious that it is a Guthix themed league. So to whichever JMod planted that seed inside my brain and made me think of that, thank you. I appreciate it. I had some insight. Like, something just clicked. I don't know. It was fairly obvious with it being green, and I'm pretty sure that's the Stone of Jazz in the artwork, but it is Guthix themed, which is really cool. This is set in a kind of alternate reality where Guthix never died. So we're going to see Guthix again, which is really cool. I'm very excited for that and what that could mean for Leagues. So Jagex mentioned this in the blog, and I thought I would talk about it here is kind of the things that have changed in RuneScape, the core game, since Leagues 1 Catalyst. First, of course, being the construction rework and the 120 construction update. A lot of people are going to go into construction in the Leagues who haven't played since then. There's a whole new overhauled system. It's essentially like Sims in RuneScape, which is really cool. Next, of course, something I actually haven't tried is the Dungeoneering rework. I've heard really good things from a lot of other creators that the Dungeoneering rework is just super good overall. There are still some tweaks that they would prefer to be changed, but overall, the rework to Dungeoneering has been very welcome. Even just having like the information on the Dungeoneering map in-game about like where key doors are is a huge change, and I think that'll really help with Leagues. Of course, we got the continent of Havenhithe this year as well, which is a huge change. It's actually one of the regions we get unlocked to start, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. And then the big two that I think apply the most probably to Leagues is the combat modernization update, as well as the early and mid-game rebalancing updates. Mid-game, probably not as much. The fletching might be a little interesting this league. We'll see how that'll work out. But it's going to be interesting to see how the combat modernization and that specifically the early game rework will kind of help with Leagues, because thieving and agility, in my opinion, especially now with the mid-game rebalance and kind of that shifting of XP, agility is going to feel so good in Leagues, I feel like. So let's move into more League-specific information. One of the big things that they revealed when they first teased Leagues 2 Equilibrium a couple weeks ago was region locking. We've seen this done in Old School Leagues before, where everybody starts in one location and you're able to unlock different regions as you progress throughout Leagues. So it looks like everyone starts with one Misthalin, which is like Lumbridge, Draenor Village unlocked, which is cool, and then Havenhithe as well. Obviously, they want to get Havenhithe in there. It is a new continent. They want to get the new people to Leagues to check it out, and then maybe come and check it out in the new game, especially with Havenhithe Part 3 coming later. Also, one thing that I thought was really funny on the map that they released was that Soul Wars was unlocked. I didn't know that that was technically Misthalin, but I guess Soul Wars is unlocked. So if you want to play some Soul Wars in Leagues, you can do it early. Overall, you get a total of 6 regions to unlock. That is including the 2 that are unlocked with Misthalin and Havenhithe. So you get a total of 4 throughout your League's journey, which is pretty cool. I do wonder if this league will be kind of similar to Demonic Packs that we just got on Old School, where each region kind of has their own unique additions specifically for Leagues. Like, they had the Echo Bosses, for example, that gave specific weapons, so it made going to that region super worth it for some people, depending on what they wanted to build. We're going to have to see and find out. They're going to be releasing more information over the next couple weeks. A big thing that is really nice from Leagues Catalyst, I heard a lot of complaints about this. I did not play Leagues Catalyst myself. I was just coming back to the game, but a lot more quests are going to be auto-completed, and there's going to be faster progression in general through the tasks, which is fantastic to see. As you unlock more regions throughout Equilibrium, you're going to see a lot more quests tied to those specific regions unlocked as soon as you kind of enter that region. Thinking about these region unlocks has made me kind of curious. I want to see what like unlocking ancient curses is going to be like, because I'm pretty sure you need Mauritania, Asgarnia, and the desert for unlocking curses in the base game. So maybe if you just want curses, those are your 3 of 4 regions that you can unlock. That would be kind of unfortunate, but if you want curses, there you go. And again, of course, faster progression with those tasks is huge. I heard a lot of complaints with Catalyst that some of the tasks just took forever and were not worth the point value. So some like reputation tasks, for example, if you were to go to the desert and unlock Metaphos with that, reputation tasks seem to be a lot faster, as what they alluded to kind of in the blog. Moving on to the big thing, which is relics. Of course, with every new league, there are new relics that come into the game, but they revealed the first 3 relics in Tier 1 for Equilibrium, which we'll go over. Those being Endless Harvest, Survivalist, and Golden Touch. Now, I'm pretty sure Endless Harvest was actually just a thing in demonic packs over on Old School. You essentially infinitely collect from any resource. You just click it once, you go away, and you have your, 15-minute timer now in RuneScape 3, and you can collect infinitely from that node. So this is definitely your AFK relic. If you have a full-time job, can't pay attention as much, definitely choose Endless Harvest as your first relic. Golden Touch is the next one, which provides you with these Golden Hawk boots, a modified Silverhawk boot model, which essentially is supposed to spit out gold as you are training both agility and thieving, which is really cool to me. Personally, I probably will pick this relic just so I don't have to worry about gold throughout my league's kind of experience at all. And I think it'll really just make agility and thieving training better. And like I said, with the mid and early game rebalance that came out this year, I think thieving and agility are in a good place where having that skill or that relic unlocked early is going to be fine, and I'm not going to want to hate to train both thieving and agility to get that money. Who knows, maybe for the first time in my history as a RuneScape player, maybe 99 agility will be my first agility. I doubt that, but that'd be really funny. And finally, the last one, which is Survivalist, which doubles your resources, provides you with better storage for those resources, and I believe will give you good tools to start. We saw this in League's demonic packs on Old School, where one of them gave you like a starting kit of crystal weapons, or crystal tools rather, to use throughout your leagues. I think it would be a good addition to the future relics if we did have the one from demonic packs. I don't remember the name what it was, but you could go back and pick a relic from a previous tier. I think if you stacked this with Endless Harvest, I think it'd be good if you're AFKing, if that's your main goal, is to kind of just AFK throughout leagues. Might be a good pick for you. Of course, the relics are going to be announced in the coming weeks. They said after July 28th, they're going to start announcing daily relics, which is really cool. So I'm going to keep up to date with those. I probably will do shorts. Maybe I'll do my planned video later on down the line. We'll see. And the final thing they touched on is the new blessing system, which is supposed to go hand in hand with the relics, but is more combat focused. They called it a dedicated combat progression system that grows alongside your league's journey, focused exclusively on combat power alongside those relics, which is really cool to see that they're adding kind of something new where it's not just relics. It kind of reminds me of demonic packs where you had the skill tree, although that was, to me, a little overwhelming. I'm hoping the blessing system is not that. And of course, throughout this, with this being a Guthix and kind of gods themed leagues, you can align yourself with these blessings to the different gods. You can align yourself with Zamorak with Chaos, with Saradomin with Order, or with Guthix with Balance blessings. And one final neat thing is you get at tier 4 and 8, you get kind of a giga blessing. They call them god tier blessings, which are supposed to be just super strong, and they're based on how many of a specific blessing you've chosen up until that point. Say if you've chosen more than 2 balance blessings up to that point, you get the God of Balance giga blessing, which will be really cool. I think that'll be an interesting little take on leagues. I'm curious to see what more information is going to get revealed with that. But anyways, guys, I think leagues right now, based on what we've seen, is looking very interesting. I'm very excited to learn more about the relics that are going to come out after the 28th. I will, like I said, do more updates on those. Maybe they'll just be shorts. Maybe I'll do a full video covering all of the League's relics later once they're all revealed, but my guess is they'll probably reveal the last one like the day before, so maybe that won't happen. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on the information released with Leagues to Equilibrium down in the comments below, and I will see you guys on August 10th for the release. Anyways, have a good one.